Alright, we're back. And I have no idea who else to review. um, okay. You know what? Maybe the Dragons versus the Titans. We already did King's Row to a degree. Uh, let's see if there's... But then again, I want to actually see this. Junkertown, fine. We'll go with Junkertown.
Ready for battle.
Mm-hmm. Junkertown, Junkertown. Uh, Titans are running. Okay, it's a bunker with... So this is interesting. So Titans are running. Oops. Titans are running a DPS duo of a Widowmaker, so a sniper, and a Genji, which is someone who can flank. Maybe you can go for a solo kill if you're good enough. Then you have a standard bunker. Twilight is on Brig. So Brig kind of helps out your sniper in a bunch of ways. Number one is armor pack. By having additional HP and tankiness on your Widowmaker, that means that little bit less susceptible to just getting dinked, and therefore they can stay in the fight for a little bit longer, especially if Slime is going to pocket them. Slime is definitely not going to be pocketing this guy, despite Hoxel being a really good Genji. So yeah, I can see this work. The other thing is that should the dragons transition to, say, transition to dive, they've got plenty of ways to just CC either the Hammond, the Winston, the Genji, the Tracer. So the additional benefit of, I guess, the Brig is another way to CC just in case the enemy team goes for a dive. But apart from that, in Poke Wars, you're a little bit on a disadvantage if you're the Titans and you're running this composition, because Twilight needs to get a hit to get his healing up, and since the dragons are not going to oblige by playing double sniper bunker, yeah, it's gonna be rough for Twilight
3, 2,
because he's not gonna be able to get close enough.
stop the pain.
Again, double sniper. Genji is trying to spam. I guess the other reason is Dragon Blight. Although Genji is still fairly rough if you're facing double sniper. To be fair, I guess another way to approach this is to give armor pack to Hoxel, and then Hoxel can try and go for a solo kill on the flank. Still going to be difficult because Coma is definitely going to be pocketing one of the snipers, and in this case, Coma is going to be in position to pocket both snipers. I can barely see that. God damn it. Fine, we'll use yellow. Like, both of these snipers are within range of Coma to be pocketed. Nice hook though. It's a really nice hook. Hoxel is currently being harassed by, of all things, a Widowmaker. Has to get out. Does get a solo kill on Ding because Hoxel is a god.
Der Kampf ist noch nicht vorbei.
Yeah, if you're the dragons, you're kind of okay with this exchange. Good hook. They need to kill that Mercy. Oh no. Okay, nice. Also notice that they didn't immediately kill Envy on... Oh wait, not Envy. Janu. because he didn't really need to get killed. But what's more impactful is to get kills on either Slime, on Mercy. Um, one of the snipers, or there's only one sniper for Titans, get a kill on Hureg, or to get another pick off on Haxal, because Haxal has Blade. And Haxal probably has the highest priority for them. That's fine if both tank lines or tanks from the Titans are already dead, then that ult from Haxal probably is not going to do anything. I would rather have both of these snipers be in different positions, them being the exact same position right there. It does no one any service whatsoever. But now they split up, so this is fine. Just a minor gripe. They're still going to be able to push this all the way.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Only place for Omnics in Junkertown is on the scrap.
So, this is a little bit difficult for double sniper, especially if the double sniper have not yet taken positions, right? So I guess that's why DM is currently in spawn and Ding is already on Sombra. This might result in DM being a McCree? Okay, McCree. Alright, so what's the logic here? Logic is, since the Titans do have a Genji, that Genji is going to try and swoop in and try to get a pick off. So by creating this gigantic ball, this gigantic death ball, with Ding likely going to be on the flanks waiting for this Genji to dive in, he can get a hack. Then the rest of the dragons can focus down the Genji in relative safety because they do have shield, incredibly tanky tanks, a res, also a lot of burst healing. So yeah, I guess that's the idea. They're going to try and control Haxal as much as possible, and then if Haxal doesn't go, or when Haxal is no longer alive, they're probably going to try and have Ding contest the Widowmaker, so that the rest of the dragons can have an easier time pushing, because like this Ding represents, or rather Hureg represents a lot of damage. In fact, it's a lot of damage that it's a one shot, one kill. So by eliminating that pressure on your team, that means that the Titans will have to either back off or commit quite a bit of their ultimates, quite a bit of their abilities to just keep into this fight, this 5v5. Genji doesn't really represent a lot of damage. Genji in higher levels of play is just a spammer who will go in whenever there's an opportunity to get an actual kill, which, because he'll get a reset. That's a really nice hack. And also a whole hog to prevent the blade from getting any form of value. Not sure why he turned around for this. Apart from, okay, maybe the bash is going to be really big, but still, like, if Haxal is way over here and he's still constantly being pushed, he's not gonna dash in. Even if you get stunned, you're still fine. So, kinda strange. Nice hook. And stun. Cute play with the interaction with Halt and Fortify, but ultimately meaningless. And I guess that's how you win despite not having a snowball advantage, right? Because the Titans definitely had ults. Like, Bumper used his. I'm not 100% sure why. They already lost. I think. No. They didn't lose Haxal just yet. He popped it in response to Twilight using his ult. Wait, you know what? Let's just go back. Let's just go way back. Let's just go way back. right? So here it is, the play.
Die sterben nicht.
The hack goes out, and then immediately in response to that ult, Full Hog is used. So thereby, Haxal is completely negated. And then, Slime also used his ult. So that means that in this situation, dragons were able to force out 2 ultimates, right? For the price of 1. So far. I mean, Haxal eventually gets a kill, doesn't really matter. Twilight pops the rally, and then Bumper goes for what do you call this? The bongos. And I think the idea here is to stop the dragons from snowballing. Because they are primed to snowball. And they need to stop them. Because if they don't, the positioning on the other side of this is just really poor. It's a really hard retake, especially if this is the composition that they want to keep for the Titans. So they need to win this fight, get superior positioning in the next fight, stop the snowball from the dragons, because ideally you want your snipers and you want your Genji to you want Hureg to be up there or up here, basically high ground control, along with Bumper and Janu, and then Haxal to have free space on the same high grounds that you now control or have sightlines of, because that means that he can freely spam, get his Genji blade, then repeatedly try to go for blades and kills. So that's the idea. That's why they're popping all of these. You're still very happy with the dragons, because if you can kite this properly, it's like a free push to half of the third point, or half of the third phase. So 4 ults completely wasted by the Titans. They were gambling basically on that working. Did not work because the dragons were able to kite properly. Plus, Envy was insane on Hog. He hooked a Haxal immediately after that. Genji Blade, as well as a sleep, I think. There was also a sleep dart from Izayaki, so compliments to him as well. But now Titans, they're on the back foot because not only do they not have position, well, they do have positional advantage. What am I talking about? But they don't have ult advantage, which the dragons definitely have. Like, the dragons almost have, well, they have 3. The Titans have 1. I mean, you could also include Widowmaker in that count as well, but Widowmaker ult does nothing. Doesn't gain kills. It might result in a kill if the enemy team plays stupid, but here in the Overwatch League, I don't think anyone here plays that stupid. The good thing is that they got a pick off immediately after that.
Der Kampf ist noch nicht vorbei.
So they're able for now to stop the snowball. The unfortunate thing is that Janu had to commit his ult to do it, and the dragons did not commit any of their ults. Oh yeah, I need to use the overlay. I forget. I'm so used to watching replays and scrims without it that yeah, I never turn it on because it's not a feature. So this is a rough spot for the dragons to push into because the Mei basically walls off one of the doors. So one of these doors are completely walled off. So whenever someone tries to push, like say in that situation, I think it was Envy, instant wall, pull, freeze, nade, snipe, then that's done. I think it was Izayaki, but Envy was also pulled in. So this is rough. So if you're the dragons, what do you do instead? How do you break this hold? One way is, I think one way is to use your Deadeye to zone them out. That's one. Another way is, but then again, you can get walled just as easily. So I think if you're the dragons, you're going to play this a little bit patiently, and then what you're going to do is instead of Deadeye being used to zone, you're going to use Ding's ult. You're going to use Dragon Strike, um, since since the Spitfire are typically positioning themselves, or the front line of the Spitfire are positioning themselves over here. That means that your Dragon Strike will gain value by going from here. Dragon. That will split off the Spitfire, force them to go over here, or at least the front line will. Then the rest of the dragons can just drop down, clean up. You might also force out the wall, so that's pretty good. That means you can definitely push out. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why Haksal decided to push that far. I want to see it again. So this fight is over. Team is chasing to try and get kills. Bumper still gets coma. Oh, I see what's the problem here. Okay, he got pulled. He was too aggressive. I mean, the Holt definitely seals his fate here. But the thing is, did the Titans really need to push that far? They already have a two-man advantage in terms of kills. They didn't need to do that. So this is a lesson in typical, like, basic game sense, right? If you're winning, and who is the onus to do some risky plays. So risky plays typically mean that you're losing and you're in a must win situation. That's why you're going to go for these risky plays. You're going to use your 4 ults to stop a push, even though it might be really inefficient, because, like, it's something that you need to win. That fight is something that you need to win no matter what. And that's completely understandable if you're in the losing end. But here, the Titans have superior position. Like, this is an insane choke for them to hold. So, risky plays when you're on the winning end. So, risky plays should not be done when you're winning. If you're already winning, you shouldn't be doing any of this. Because you're putting yourself at so much more of a disadvantage. You're giving more advantage to the enemy team who's already at a disadvantage. You want to keep them there. There's no need for them to do this. So that's a mistake from them. Typical Titans being too aggressive for their own good. It's what brought them down in the playoffs, I would have to say. And now they have to back out. Titans. Now, this gives the chance to the Dragons to have a superior position on their DPSs, assuming that, yeah, they are. Okay. I thought that Mushi was going to flank at some point. So my idea was him going to hide, force the Titans to try and push in, and then counter High Noon, but I think that was a little bit too passive. Nice pull, but the pull happened over here. So if you're the Dragons, should you have used your Deadeye a lot earlier in response to the bongos? I think there's an argument for it. It's risky. It's definitely risky. But what you can do is, so So you go for Deadeye on the dragons. Deadeye. To try and zone out the enemy team. What you can do is play right in front of your Orisa, so that there's no way that the bongos can kill you, and there's also a little less risk of you getting, say, sniped or deflected with a Genji by the Genji, or slept. And then your other tank, your Roadhog, will also try and body block for you, because really you don't really need sight lines, or you don't really need to see the enemy team when you're using Deadeye. You just need sight lines, but you don't need to see them. So by using the two tanks as like shields, like living shields, you can maybe keep your what do you call this? Your McCree safe while he Deadeyes. But still a risky play. You could easily break the shield
Cease your
with the
resistance.
bongos and then nade in. So it's really rough. Wow, Gamsu survives. Good god. Now he doesn't survive. I don't think so. Until that happens. So the Deadeye still did its job of zoning them out a little bit later. I guess that was a safer play for them. The Titans, again, commit so many ults, but do not get anything for it. Or much anything for it. Let's go even further back. So Nano Boost goes to... I guess Nano Boost goes to Hog, as he uses Whole Hog. Okay. So the deflect was already baited out. So they see that Haxal fully commits this. He tries to go for the kill. Does not happen. A little bit too slow, and the rest of his team does not really want to oblige. They don't want to cross that shield. A bit too risky, especially if this is what's waiting for them. So understandable. Whole Hog is committed because the Janu saw that Koma already committed his mobility ability to get to Gamsu. That means that by whole hogging, he's going to be trapped here. Never mind, you can. I thought that you can get CC'd by that a lot harder, even with Guardian Angel, but apparently not. And yeah, that's just a really good zoning ultimate from DM, or counter ultimate from DM, because he knew that the Titans were going for an aggressive push, or try to go for an aggressive push just to make sure that the dragons no longer snowball and cannot get superior positions.
Sterben nicht.
Urag for a while there was Symmetra, I don't know. Then again, those are two heroes that are quite close to each other. It's a little thing. And yeah. They failed to stop them, therefore now dragons have all the advantages they could possibly want. Except maybe for ult, but the Titans don't have ult either, so they're fine with this. And yeah, that's just a lesson in pushing your luck. They lost this third point just because they pushed their luck too much on the Titans. They were already winning, they went for a risky play, and then they got punished for it. And that's just them forgetting the basic lesson of any competitive game. Like, if you're in the losing end, do risky plays. Go for risky plays. If you're not on the losing end, do not go for the risky plays. Just play safe. Play safe. There's no need to style on your opponent. If you're good, you'll beat them 9 times out of 10. It's whatever. You don't have... Then again, I think the Titans are winning this series at 3. 3-1. So, yeah. I can see why they're getting a little bit too overconfident. a little bit antsy. Oh yeah, we need to advance time.
One. Attackers
So,
incoming.
Titans are going for the exact same thing that they
The
used.
payload.
Sans and Anna. Twilight is now on um Twilight is now on Zen. So what does Zen contribute in this map on this composition against say double sniper? Well, the thing about Zen is that Zen is actually a DPS with proper support, of course. Of course, like this being the Overwatch League, you have proper support. It's the wrong place to do that line. Anyway, so DPS. That's one. Another thing is that Zen is, or moreover, Zen is a DPS that is projectile. So that means that I can't spell projectile to save my life. But yeah, anyway, projectile. Projectile DPS. And that means that there's no penalty for Zen whenever, regardless of how far his target is, right? So DM or Ding could be all the way across the map, and Zen's orbs would still do a shit ton of damage. And then the third advantage of having this Zen is burst. Remember that Zenyatta has a right click, and that right click does a ton of burst damage. And while it's not really good at, say, sustained DPS, so right click RMB of Zen isn't very good damage in terms of sustained DPS. It's actually lower damage output. But what this does, though, is if someone is peeking a corner, like say a sniper or a flanking Genji or flanking Genji or Tracer, they're instantly killed. So instantly kills. Instantly kills people who pop out of cover. Flankers or peekers. Kind of like snipers. Because snipers love to peek around corners like these. So the moment that the Twilight notes, okay, Widowmaker's over here, Hanzo's over here, he's gonna charge up the orbs, and then go for a kill. Just time it correctly whenever they try to pop out. Now, on the side of the Dragons, I don't agree with not necessarily their composition, but how they're playing it. Because, well, then again, at this phase, I guess this is the only good sightline that you have. You don't really want to hold over here or up top, because that opens you up to flanks. It's a really awkward retreat position. So yeah, I guess this is still fine for now, but eventually what I want from the Dragons is to have their snipers really playing far apart, getting two different angles so that they can have, well, this is just an example of positioning. This is not what you really want, but yeah, what you really want though is a crossfire, like so. So your tanks are going to be firing from the straight main, then snipers go from the flanks. So makes it more difficult for the Titans to easily push because they now have to defend from three different angles. Also, spectate overlay because it's really useful, a lot more educational. Haxel is dead, that's fine. So they now have, well, I wouldn't say superior positioning, but then again, if your tank line can hold this or this, Then your snipers can go all the way up, try to snipe from there, and they're pretty decent sniping angles. So what happened? I wasn't paying attention. Oops. Well, Ding got pulled somehow. I wanna know how. So Ding got killed. Where? Okay, Ding got killed over there. So that means that the Roadhog would have had to pull him from over here. Or over here, maybe. Well, anyway. Bottom line is they traded, but you're still kind of happy about this if you're the Titans, because the onus to stay in one place is on the Dragons, and they can't really stay in one place if they don't really have the damage output.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
It also helps that they don't have a shield on the side of the Dragons, they just used it. So they really have to back off. Staggered kill on DM is not gonna do them any favors. DM using his ult though is indicative of him maybe switching. Yeah, he switches to a McCree to control Haxel a little bit better,
The checkpoint.
along with the rest of his tanks. You could still make an argument actually for the use of double sniper against a Genji. But the thing is, if a Genji is being pocketed by, say, a Mercy as he's diving you, even from two different angles, that's still going to be really difficult for the rest of your team to peel. You can't always rely on, especially against a mobile target, because the advantage of double sniper is two different angles, right? Two, double sniper. There's two really far apart dive targets, which makes it awkward for the Genji to just get a pick off. But if the Genji goes with a Mercy, then maybe you can go for a pick off on at least one of the snipers. Yeah, the Mercy might be in trouble, but then the rest of the Titans should be able to cover for him. That cough. Holy fuck. Marissa's dying.
Cease your resistance.
Nice Transcendence response. Good god. That was really quick.
Helden sterben nicht.
Wasteful.
وريهم قوتك.
They nano boost DM because DM is one of the people on, or yeah, one of the people on this team that can CC Haxel like consistently. Hey there, Natter. Let me guess, you're raiding me? It's still not showing up on the bot. I'm not sure why, but yeah, I currently have 11 people. Welcome to this really scuffed review of the Dragons versus the Titans. I'm about to have my lunch after this one, so unfortunately it's going to be somewhat brief. Also, it's very difficult for the Dragons, or rather the Titans, to get positions here as a double sniper. Especially if the Dragons are already set up. Right? So if you're the Titans, what you want to do is to have, say, one sniper go here, because definitely good sight lines, maybe another over here. But how do you do that? How do you exactly do that if the Dragons are already in position right over here, like good sight lines on both? So I think there's a
Personne
I think you can
n'échappe à mon
switch.
regard.
I think you should switch. To what, I'm not exactly sure. Hang on, let me just think about that for a second. So, uh, it's really difficult for double sniper to have position here. So what do you switch to instead? You could go for Tracer, Sombra, Hard Dive, maybe. Still questionable with these two. Or these three. Another option is to just build your Dragon. Dragon Strike. Dragon Strike to clear the high ground. And then, should the Dragon split up, which they will definitely do, you can use that opportunity to get a pick off. So that's one other thing that you can do. So you don't have to switch, but that's it's a really slow proposition, right? You can maybe help that along by committing this, like the bongos, so that your Hanzo will have more damage, therefore more ult charge. And then Dragon Ip, Dragon the high ground, force them off, yada yada yada. You can also go for a really good hook.
Cease your resistance.
That works too. God damn it.
Der Kampf ist noch nicht vorbei.
Team kill.
So now the Titans should have superior positioning with their double sniper. The Dragons, well, they can still keep this. Double sniper is really good on third point. I think they still have time. They should still have enough time to maybe contest. It's a bit sketch though. It's really close. Yeah, really close. And this man is definitely dead. Yeah. But at the very least, the Dragons were able to force out some ultimates from the side of the Titans. It's unfortunate that Koma tried to sustain with the Valkyrie. Although it was a fair play, right? Because if you could stall them, if the Dragons could stall them here just enough so that the two snipers from... Let's see, let's get a better angle. Okay, so let's say that Gamsu was able to touch payload, was able to survive everything, then the rest of the Dragon snipers can get positions or equal positions to their Titan counterparts, and then maybe the game would be more even. Maybe they can hold. Maybe. Big maybe, but guess we'll never know. So at this point, it's just which team is able to better position their snipers, so that they can get the pickoffs that they sorely need. Really good hooks are also on the table, but I'm not 100% sure why there was no shield, but maybe it was on cooldown, so it's fine.
Dein Schutzengel ist
Oh no, okay, what happened there? Okay, so they just used the shield, that's why, nope, that was just a really good halt hook. Never mind, I'm a moron. So, the dragon is being committed. It's being committed like so. So, by throwing the dragon like this, it forces the two tanks to move forward. The rest of the supports will have to move back. Yeah, this is rough. Plus, there's also a pull. So that's additional value for that dragon. Yeah, the Titans were just going to roll this. I mean, the dragons initiated with a really good pull hook, but weren't able to capitalize on it because of a lot of other factors. Mostly because their snipers couldn't really get in position, so there's no cover. there was no cover for the rest of for the dragons to just stay on that position and then prevent the Titans from going for an aggressive counterplay or counter hook
Score
themselves.
3-3.
The dragon also helped.
Sides.
All right.
Initiating match.
I think I'm just gonna end the stream right here. I'm gonna stream a little after lunch, so maybe in an hour. My voice is already shot, so thank you guys for watching. Thank you for the follow, Ironic. And yeah, I think I'll see you boys next time. I'll upload these on YouTube, don't worry about it. So if you have any comments, suggestions, other insight that I may have missed, you are free to leave it in the comments on my YouTube video. So yeah, I'll see ya.